Hey, what's up guys? And first of all, if you would like to support me and the channel, my PayPal will be in the description, so thank you very much. Now I'm back with a brand new movie for you guys to enjoy. What if Naruto was a time wizard, guys? Taking a lot of inspiration from the time magic user from Black Clover, guys, yes. I'm gonna be dabbling with some of that magical aspect within the Naruto universe. This will be a movie, and if you want more movies like these, you can go ahead and comment your movie ideas. Just write your ideas and the end of it write well, if you want a movie or a series of it, because I'll be taking suggestions, so go ahead and do that. And if you're new, yes, I indeed have 3 more channels, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. The link will be down in the description for the other channels, so go ahead, check them out, and yeah, become a part of the Animaking family. So without further ado or wasting more time, let us begin this now, guys. Our story opened up to a young 6-year-old Naruto as he was lying on a roof observing the heavens. Naruto's childhood was not exactly extreme, but it was not completely bright either. The people around him, some of them looked away, some of them whispered. Majority of them pretended like he did not exist. He tried his best, searching for something. However, it wasn't until a week ago that Naruto slowly started to give up, realizing that his pranks, his screams were solving nothing. He decided to withdraw in on himself as he started to close himself off to the outside world, little by little. And it started to happen once again. Last year when he was 5 years old, he kept on hearing a voice. He did not tell anyone about this because he thought he was going mad, but the voice was coming back. It whispered softly, "You are not meant for this age, Naruto Uzumaki." When he closed his eyes, he saw a book, a strange book floating in a void. A cover with a strange symbol on it that he could not quite describe. The pulsating, it resonated through him. He opened his eyes and looked around. It happened once again, he thought to himself. Unaware to him, he was special in more ways than one. Very, very, very special. As the years went by, the whispers grew louder. 8, 10, 12. Naruto wasn't really talented in the ninja aspect of anything. His shadow clones were sloppy, due to him not gaining any extra help. He wasn't even aware that his chakra was too massive. He was tricked by Mizuki. Naruto stole the Forbidden Scroll, and at least he learned the shadow clone jutsu. He was surprised though. He never thought that Iruka noticed him or cared, but the man's words touched Naruto deeply. It was the first time in a long while that Naruto started to retain some actual emotional feelings. Perhaps there were more people that saw him as a person instead of nothing. Naruto was placed on Team 7. When he attended the academy that day, many were surprised to see him. Shikamaru Nara questioned what he was doing here. He could have sworn that Naruto had not pass. Naruto thought that most people wasn't paying attention to him, but he supposed he was wrong. It wasn't like the children in the class despised him. Some of them did not talk to him, but the clan children, they did not have a problem with him. But a lot of them had their own personal quirks. Naruto always wondered why Sasuke was the way he was. It wasn't until late that Naruto learned about what happened with Sasuke. He closed himself off so much that he failed to realize so much was going on in the outside world. If anything, Naruto felt bad for Sasuke, but Naruto knew what Sasuke was going through in a way. Granted, he never had family to lose, but he knew that Sasuke perhaps hated the pity. After all, he hated that word as well. So he never tried to show the sadness that he felt for the Uchiha. He never really fought with him either. They were just classmates, nothing else, nothing more. So now that they were placed on Team 7, it was a rather quiet demeanor. Naruto was well aware of Sakura Haruno. He thought the girl was, well, cute, and that was a long time ago. But he never made his opinion known, nor did he speak to her that much. Over to the side, Sakura watched both of them, unsure how to begin talking. Sasuke was her crush, yes, but now was her opportunity. Now was her chance, she thought to herself, as she was overthinking so much that she did not know what to say. And then there was Naruto. He didn't talk that much. She did see him talking to others, but not that much. Time skip. Their sensei turns out to be, well, someone they didn't expect. Not in terms of his identification, but he seemed rather out of it. Mostly bored and tired and rather annoyed. However, for the first time, Team 7 worked together. It was during their bell tests. As Naruto realized that something was wrong here, none of them were strong enough to take this man on. As he sat there, racking his brain, an army, he thought. He thought about his shadow clones that he used to defeat Mizuki. Speaking of that, it was the day he learned why the people stay away from him. However, Naruto did not let it break him. The Hokage was thorough in explaining that he wasn't a monster to a seal inside of him. However, the third said something that shocked Naruto. The only reason why the fourth Kage would do something like that was because he believed in him. Naruto was stunned, beyond shocked, taken aback to be quite exact. A Hokage believed in him. Naruto pulled strength from those words. As Naruto got up, he raced towards the forest, over to the other side. I wonder, Kakashi thought. However, his thoughts were correct as the three of them emerged, attacking him all at once. In the end, he gave them the pass. However, our story truly begins at the land of Wave, where Naruto Uzumaki was tired. Needles were all over him. Sasuke Uchiha ran. No hesitation. He jumped. He was hit so much times as he collapsed in Naruto's arms. As he spoke about his past, his brother, something inside of Naruto shattered. And for the first time, the voices got so loud that it became a problem. The voices were breaching out of Naruto's mind into literal reality itself. Everything froze. Time came to a complete stop. Time came to a crawl. Everything was simply frozen. As Naruto saw it, a book, a rather strange symbol on it floating in the air. He did not know how he knew this, but Chronos. It came to his mind. Naruto reached out and rested his hand on the book. The moment he did so, his eyes lit up. His entire body was illuminated with power. Information pouring into his mind. Finally, we've become one. The whispers went into his mind and stopped. When Naruto opened his eyes, they were no longer the same. Both of his eyes reflect like a clicking clock. You could see it, the pattern in his eyes, with the golden strokes clicking as they turn. Naruto looked down towards Sasuke. Naruto's perception was moving in a different understanding. Naruto saw it. He believed Sasuke was dead a moment ago, but now, Naruto did not know how, but he could see that Sasuke was still alive. There was a thread coming together from time itself, showing Sasuke's existence. It looped around him. Naruto raised his hand and placed it over the Uchiha. The next moment, the damage that was once done to Sasuke started to reverse, until it stopped, due to certain limitations that Naruto possessed. Time itself returned back to normal. Haku was confused, looking down to his hands, the senbons that he held. But he was confused. Sasuke opened his eyes. He remembered what just happened. It seems Naruto's limitations were rather clear. Because Sasuke remembered, so did Haku, but what he can't seem to remember was he threw the senbons, but now he had them. But the Uchiha was... Something rather confusing seemed to have happened. However, they both noticed Naruto. Haku realized that he had to put a stop to him. He immediately threw the senbons. There was no hesitation there. He wasn't trying to kill but to subdue Naruto. Sasuke shouted as he was on the ground, shouting for Naruto to look up, to move out of the way. However, the next moment Naruto was pressing his hand against the mirror. Haku was stunned. The path where Naruto was standing a moment ago, a yellow burst was left in his wake. As Naruto skipped, he skipped forward a moment ago. A time skip movement. A high-speed teleportation functioned like skipping forward in time, making it seem like he teleported, but he moved so fast that he cannot be perceived. It worked like the body flicker, but near instantaneous, leaving behind a golden after image that could affect certain visual Kage Genkai. Haku was stunned, unable to believe that he was standing here. Haku saw the book behind Naruto floating in mid-air. The next moment, a page flipped, and once it did, the entire structure reverted to wind and water. Haku fell down to the ground as he was confused. Sasuke got to his feet, blitzing forward, no hesitation, delivering a brutal combo. The confused Haku was not ready. An uppercut that broke the bottom of the mask, a kick in the stomach, a twist, a punch. Sasuke did not hesitate to lay blows on his enemy. They were vicious, quick, fast-paced. Meanwhile, Naruto was standing there. He looked over towards Haku as he saw it. The same thread. However, his was extremely short. Haku was able to regain his bearings, using a rather substantial amount of his chakra to push Sasuke away, as he had to force the ground underneath him to freeze, the bridge to be quite exact. As he doesn't standardly use his abilities like that, Sasuke flipped away though. But Haku was not about to stop. The frozen substance on the ground erupted as ice spikes. Sasuke was ripped through, his heart completely destroyed. However, that did not happen. The page in the book flipped once again as Naruto saw it. Naruto could see. He could see the future. Naruto could see the foresight of 3 possible futures. All of them in the next 3 seconds. Naruto blitzed forward. Sasuke was grabbed by one of Naruto's clones and thrown away. Haku looked down as he saw the kunai with the explosive note explode in his eyes before it could create spikes, launching him as he slammed into the railing. He collapsed down on the ground. Sasuke blinked, looking towards Naruto. "I had him," he said. "No, you did not," said Naruto. Sasuke was taken aback by Naruto's oddly looking eyes. His Sharingan had been awakened, but he never expected Naruto's eyes to look like this or for him to have any dojutsu. Sasuke was really confused. That was until it happened, and Naruto understood now what he saw. As Haku got a Chidori through his chest, the mask finally falling off his face, and got to arrive. Zabuza treated Haku like he was nothing, but Naruto knew Haku because they met in the forest. Now Naruto understand that this person was the special person that he was talking about. For the first time in a long while, Naruto lost it. His anger surged. However, his anger slammed into Zabuza with such fury that it broke him. A man that was known for killing his entire class, a ruthless demon, started to cry. Zabuza then went after Gato as Naruto collapsed face first. He blacked out. The abilities that he used were not exactly normal. The consumption was incredibly high. He blacked out his inexperience and lack of new control. The book that was floating there simply vanished. When Naruto woke up, he was alive and everyone was okay. Iniri, the young child, was happy and hugging him. Everyone was alive and Gato was gone. Turns out Zabuza died as they buried the two together. Returning back to the Hidden Leaf village, Hiruzen was rather shocked and intrigued by Naruto's new eyes. As Naruto was different. He's always been a quiet child, but there was something different about him. The way he looked at everything now. As Naruto looked at the Hokage and saw the same fuse, Naruto could see someone's time. A rather extremely powerful ability, and the foresight to change, something like that. Naruto was not a normal person, not in the slightest. Something was wrong though. As he tried to speak about what he was seeing, he could not. His words were not forming to say those words. It confused him. The book was stopping him from doing so. Naruto did not know if it was because he was too weak, too inexperienced, but there was some limits on what was going on. Well, if there were limits, he would break them. 6 months flew by. Naruto spent those 6 months training. As Naruto awoke in a lot of new rays of ability. Each page in the book had several different techniques, several different abilities. And these abilities were not normal. The concept of time, the book Chronos. Naruto was magical. These abilities made no sense. These were not ninja abilities. Naruto was operating on something completely different. Naruto's mind started to be changed by the new sense of power. It wasn't normal. The power at his fingertips, at the moment limited but special. Naruto started to become addicted to this power. Focus on nothing more, nothing else. As Naruto would feel himself dying of starvation, but the only thing that was on his mind was understanding the concept of time. Naruto started to learn, evolve, learn, evolve, learn, evolve, learn, evolve. It started to become bad when Sakura started to report this to their sensei. They believed that it was simply Naruto trying to grow, but you could see under his eyes he hasn't been sleeping. And anyone tried to speak about this, Naruto started to lash out, telling them that they don't understand. Power can truly be something rather addictive. Power can be something controlling. Power can be abnormal and extremely scary. And Naruto was starting to scare the people around him. It became an obsession, a hunger, a thirst to understand, to grow. and it was becoming worse and worse and worse. Until the Hokage called Naruto in. It wasn't usual that the literal Hokage himself had to step into certain matters, but this wasn't a normal matter that they can simply go and simply allow to happen. He's seen what obsession with power does to someone. You see, Naruto has spent his entire life locked away from certain, events, locked away from truly expressing who he is. It happened 1 week before that day on the roof, when he was 6 years old, where he started to confine himself. This book, the desires that it brought out inside of him, was something that his inner self could not contain. Thus, it started to affect him in many different ways. Entering the office, what is it? I was busy, said Naruto, showing no regard or concern for, manners to the Hokage. Naruto, the man said, using a rather formal tone. Naruto looked away. I apologize, but I was busy. How can I help? Today is supposed to be my day off. Listen to me. We need to talk. Naruto stood there with a shocked look on his face. You think I'm obsessed? This is mine. This belongs to me. It called out to me for so long now. And now it's finally here. And you want to take it away. Why should I give this to you? Why do you think you're entitled to even hold this? Naruto said, you're trying to what? Help me? By taking away my power? I've been weak for so long, worthless for so long, and now I finally have power. And you want to take it away? You're just like them. You're like them, aren't you? Said Naruto. Hiruzen was confused. Like who? He said. Everyone else, Naruto shouted. The ones that have tried to hold me down for my entire life. The ones that have tried to make me seem like I'm some kind of monster when I wasn't. Naruto, listen to me. You're not thinking clearly, Hiruzen said. You need to calm down. The Hokage started to emerge and step towards Naruto. The Anvus in the corner started to move in as well. Oh, trust me. My mind is clear, said Naruto. It's very clear. The Hokage was insanely fast, but as he tried to restrain Naruto, he found himself stopped. A strange blue field surrounded Naruto's large spear. Naruto could not hold this for too long, but he just needed a few seconds. You're just like them. You don't want me to succeed. You don't want me to attain my true powers. Naruto vanished away as everyone fell down to the ground, having lost balance. Hiruzen got to his feet immediately. Find him. Now, he said. The Anvus flashed away as Hiruzen made his way. Unfortunately, Naruto was gone. Everything was still there in his apartment, but Naruto was nowhere in Konoha. Time skip. Team 7 was affected by Naruto's disappearance. Sakura felt bad that she didn't say something earlier. She saw the way Naruto had changed. 1 month before the Land of Wave mission, her and Naruto became friends. They had never truly talked in the academy, but they did become friends. And they could rely on trust one another, but when she came to him after seeing that he was becoming obsessed, he told her that everything was fine and that they should just keep this to themselves. If she said something earlier, there might have been a difference. They would have probably still have him here. Sasuke was different, as he see Naruto leaving as something that started to trigger him as well. Naruto left because the people were trying to hold him back. Sasuke spoke to Naruto about this before, but no one knew that. You're obsessed. You remember the conversation? I'm not. I'm simply growing more powerful. Don't you want to get more powerful as well? Said Naruto. I know that you and the others have been concerned, but all you're doing is holding me back. I'm starting to think that this entire village is trying to hold me back from my true potential. Those words had affected Sasuke ever since. He never told anyone about his conversation with Naruto. No one at all. Days pass and they turn into a week. Until a week turned into a month. And the Chunin exams start to come around. Naruto was gone. Hinata Hyuga was much more affected than most people thought. She had a huge crush on Naruto. As it showed, after hearing about his disappearance, all of them in the academy knew Naruto rather well. He was a calm, laid-back person. Not in the way Shikamaru was, but he wasn't someone that would overreact or shout. So they were shocked to hear about this. Danzo Shimura brought someone in to fill the spot, because Sasuke Uchiha must participate in the Chunin exams. Sasuke's name was rather big, being the last Uchiha within Konoha, and if he wasn't in the exams, the numbers would decrease drastically. Jiraiya received word to return back to the village immediately. Once he did, he was shocked. Hiruzen had a sit down with the man. He needed to find Naruto, he needed to talk to him. Naruto isn't a bad person. He isn't a dangerous person, he's becoming obsessed. Hearing that, Jiraiya had flashes of the past with Orochimaru. Flashes that made him terrified as he heard about what Naruto can do. Well, a small part of it that is. The Sannin left the village. The Chunin exams took place. The new member of Team 7, Sai, let's just say the both of them despise him. As he was trying to be funny, but it wasn't that exactly. He was trying to be open, but he was just odd. They missed Naruto, yes, but Sai was a weird person that says what was on his mind and it pissed them off. However, Team 7 passed through the Chunin exams, followed by the others. Sasuke and Sai made it to the finals. As everyone was there, Hiruzen was reflecting in his thoughts, so much so that he even ignored the Kazekage for a moment as he apologized. "It seems you have a lot on your mind," he said. Sasuke Uchiha was attacked in the forest by Orochimaru and branded with a seal. Luckily, Kakashi had sealed it away. He was another matter as well, Kakashi. Hated the fact that Naruto wasn't here anymore. Naruto was his connection to Minato. He should have been there for him much earlier, but now he was gone and Jiraiya had not even returned yet, as Naruto was nowhere to be found. Unfortunately though, the exams were interrupted as an attack rained on Konoha. "I should have known," Hiruzen said as Orochimaru revealed himself, chuckling as he did. He was here to end this once and for all, to bring destruction and to bring chaos upon the village. Chaos reigned within the Hidden Leaf village. Sakura got pinned to a tree. Sasuke was currently exhausted and weakened, so much so that he could not move as Gaara was about to rip him to shreds. Gaara was partially transformed, as on the ground was Kiba Inuzaka unconscious, as he had came out here as well to lend an aid, but unfortunately he stood no chance at all. Temari was trying to move away injured. Kankuro was also injured as well, from their own brother. Unfortunately though, Sasuke was going to die. Sasuke saw the blade claw about to rip into him. Was this it? Was this how he died? However, it started to slow down. 1 second turned into 10 and Sasuke found no pain and no agony. His eyes focused on Gaara, who seemed confused. "Hey there, Sasuke. Long time no see." The Uchiha froze up as he turned to see Naruto standing there with his arm outstretched, the blue spear surrounding all of them. Naruto stepped forward. As he moved to Gaara and held out his hand, a tiny blue ball formed in Naruto's palm and struck Gaara in the stomach. Gaara was launched, tearing throughout the entire forest, its body crashing into a large crater. Naruto placed his hand on Sasuke. Sasuke felt a large amount of his strength return, his wounds even vanishing as he got to his feet. Naruto? Naruto vanished. Sakura was broken free as Naruto caught her in his arms. She was unconscious though as he rested her against a tree. Sasuke tried to step towards Naruto, but Naruto was behind him. "I'm sorry I left without saying anything," said Naruto. "But I could not be contained anymore. I had to leave. I had to learn." Sasuke looked at him. Naruto's eyes seemed so different. Something was gone. And that was clear. The book floated behind him. He looked the same mostly, except for his clothing. No black and red. "Where did you go? What have you been doing?" Sasuke said. "You leave because you were indeed obsessed." Sasuke wanted to know what was going on. Obsession is just a word that is used to keep one locked away, mentally and physically, said Naruto. He grabbed Sasuke by the shoulders and Sasuke saw it. Something was indeed wrong. "My eyes have been opened. No more limitation, no more hesitation. It's dangerous, yes, but I've done it. Not completely, but enough to truly realize that I am..." Both of them paused as they saw the monstrosity form behind them. It was Shikaku, the One-Tails. Naruto looked up towards it. "It seems I would have to release a bit of my power," he said. Suddenly, the book started to expand and grow and grow and grow and grow until it was the size of a one-story house. Sasuke was stunned. "As I said, obsession is just a word used to limit the mind," said Naruto. He took off. Sasuke was astonished as Naruto flew. "Hey there," Naruto said, looking directly into one of Shikaku's eyes. "You're a rather powerful beast, and a perfect test of my abilities." Confused, Shikaku wafted Naruto out of the air. Well, that is what he thought, but his hand hit nothing. "Too slow," Naruto said as he ran along Shikaku's back. Sand erupted from Shikaku, trying to grip him, but Naruto kept on, blinking in and out, moving and surpassing the speed of the sand. "It seems you are much too slow to keep up with me," said Naruto, as he sat right on Shikaku's face. He was cocky, testing and flexing his powers. Naruto kicked himself off as Shikaku crossed his arms. He released powerful sand bullets. However, each of them were captured in a spear, and they were gone. Shikaku was confused as he released more, but they got captured once again before they could touch Naruto, and they were erased. Naruto then held his hand out and fired several spears, each of them that touched Shikaku's body. The tail beast howled out. Pieces of his body was erased. His gut bulged as he released a thunderous wind blast that sent Naruto out of the air. However, Naruto's hand was on the back of Shikaku's head as he blasted a hole clean through it, almost hitting Gaara. Shikaku's head restored though as he spun it around, using his rather special body, and released a pressurized wind blast directly onto Naruto, but Naruto flew into the sky. "You're much too slow to hit me," said Naruto. "You're going to have to be a lot faster than that." Shikaku raged. The tail beast hated humans, so to be treated like this, it was pissed off. It started to charge a tail beast bomb. It would blow them all to smithereens. Naruto stood there rather casually, allowing him to build his attack as he turned it on the village. "Die! All of you die!" he said, launching the attack. Konoha received the blast, as there was no one there powerful enough to stop it. Jiraiya wasn't here. Boom! A large section of Konoha was eviscerated. countless was blown to pieces. Sasuke was also destroyed, as the attack had swallowed him, Temari, and everyone else. They were all dead. However, another explosion happened. Sasuke Uchiha blinked in confusion, his hand covering his face. Gaara was falling from the sky as he crashed down hard. The entire body of the One Tails had been blown apart by a seismic blast. Gaara looked upwards as Naruto descended down towards him. He was confused. He started to run, trying to flee from Naruto, but Naruto smiled at him. "Thank you," said Naruto. "You allow me the opportunity to test myself. There's a lot more I have to work on," said Naruto. Go and get stronger, perhaps. A future test is in our sight," Naruto said. Gaara's words about his existence caused Naruto to look at him. "Your existence is not ending for some time now." Naruto gazed behind him, and it seems like there are others that don't want their existence to end. Confused Gaara was until he saw Temari and Kankuro racing towards the scene. "It seems they truly love you," said Naruto. His words were not meant to assure Gaara or to give him any change of perspective. Naruto was simply stating what he saw. Sasuke Uchiha was confused. Temari and Kankuro were as well, as they saw Naruto as he ran past him. I died," Sasuke said. "No, you didn't." "I didn't." Naruto fell face first. He was unconscious. Whatever he just did took so much out of him. He was completely out cold. The book in the sky faded away. Time skipped. When Naruto opened his eyes, he was locked away. He wasn't sure where he was, but he was confined and in prison. However, he lay there with a smile on his face. "I pulled it off," he said. Naruto deliberately risked the life of everyone to pull off a technique. You see, Naruto was able to isolate the Tail Beast bomb out of time itself. He was able to isolate it for a few seconds before replacing it inside of time. But he moved it. The concept of tampering with time in that way should be impossible, but in just a short amount of time, Naruto's obsession led to new awakenings. However, the obsession was worse. Naruto deliberately allowed them to die because he wanted to test his power. But he literally reversed time itself by isolating a section of time. This did not happen for anything outside of the radius of the Tail Beast bomb. So everyone that did die in that time period did die. It was just in that section. As human life did not seem to matter in that moment to him, as he only wanted one thing, to test his ability. The obsession was getting worse. The power was getting worse. You can see by Naruto's grimoire that his abilities have grown drastically, incredibly so. Him waking up was noticed by the others, as it did not take too long for Jiraiya to enter the room. Naruto looked up towards the white-haired man. "Jiraiya, my godfather," he said. The Sannin was shocked. "You're wondering how I knew your name. You see my parents. They seal their chakra inside of the seal. I recently found out about this in my studies. So I went in there, and I was able to go through their mind, understanding the flow of their mind by reversing it. You want to know something rather amazing? The control over my powers are much greater when it has anything to do with my body. I was able to flip through their mind by reversing their thoughts. They were helpful in my growth." Jiraiya looked towards Naruto. "So you know who they are?" "Yes. But there must be a reason why they put their chakra in there," To help me, said Naruto. And instead of talking to them, you stripped their mind, said Jiraiya. They were nothing but a fragment of who they really were. They were not important, but they were still your parents. And you had the opportunity to meet them, said Jiraiya. Well, I guess that never occurred to me, said Naruto. Because I don't really care about that. The Sannin saw it, the obsession. All he desired was power. Tell me something. Everyone is claiming that the attack from the One Tails hit the village and killed a lot of people. What did you do? Oh, that was my doing. I wanted to see if I could pull it off. Pull what off? Reversing the damage by simply taking out the fragment of that time of the attack out of time itself and placing it back inside. So, you allowed it to happen? Yes. Because you were testing your power? Yes. A rather interesting test. A good thing it paid off, after all. If it hadn't, countless would have died. The look on Jiraiya's face concerned Naruto in a confusing way. You seem upset. Of course I'm upset. Listen to me, kid, you know what you're saying. They're human life. You can't just speak about these things so casually. Especially your parents. You could have met them and talked to them, but you... Ah, I see. You're concerned because everything seems so trivial. You know, before this, I was all alone. Desperate for companionship, desperate for aid and help. But now, ever since awakening these powers, I feel so different. I feel alive. I can see things that you can't even imagine. I can understand things that you can't even imagine. And soon enough, I shall shatter every limitation on myself. And I will surpass what I am right now. I will go beyond a mage. I will go beyond these magical abilities. I will go beyond a wizard of time. I will become the god of time itself. Jiraiya was frightened, having heard those words before but in a different format, but it was the same words. He was right. Something is wrong with you, he said. You're speaking of the Hokage. Isn't he dead? How did you... I saw it. I knew that he was going to die, sacrificing his life to defeat Orochimaru, but in the end he failed. Jiraiya clenched his fists. He failed because he was too weak to do what was necessary a long time ago. Shut up, said Jiraiya. Naruto chuckled. You seem to be upset. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want him to die. But you said nothing, said Jiraiya. Unfortunately, before I could say nothing, said Naruto. I could only see, I could not talk. But once you returned, you knew, didn't you, said Jiraiya. Yes, but I did not change it because I believe it is needed. I don't know why or how, but his death is needed for much greater changes. The Sannin looked towards Naruto with a look of anger and disgust. This child was seriously messed up. Now, I must go. There's things I have to do. You're not leaving this place, said Jiraiya, until we find a way to fix you. Naruto started to chuckle. You misunderstand. The only reason why I'm here right now is because the ability I used took a lot out of me. And you did what was right by protecting my body while I was unconscious. But these seals and these restraints. Naruto's body started to glow. The seals on him started to become undone. The restraints started to rust and break with a single movement of his hand. Jiraiya was stunned. Your trivial things cannot hold someone like me, because I'm something else, said Naruto. With that, he was gone. Jiraiya looked around, but Naruto was gone. Sasuke blinked as Naruto sat down at his chair. Across from him, Naruto smiled at the Uchiha. I'm gonna be leaving the village once again, Naruto said. Sasuke was stunned. How did you... Stop questioning things you won't understand. As I said to you, Sasuke, they're keeping us limited. We're all limited. With that, he was gone. Naruto saw great things for Sasuke. But for now, he was still limited to the thought of the understanding of allegiance, power, respect. Sakura Haruno was in the hospital. She had been pretty roughed up. Someone entered the room. She saw him. Naruto? Let me help, said Naruto. Immediately, all of her wounds vanished. They were bandaged and healing up, but now she was fine. Where have you been? What's going on? She said. Shh. Naruto said, putting a finger to his lips. Let's not bother calling the others, he said to her. I just want to say goodbye for now. Wait, you're leaving? Yes. There's a lot I have to do, he said. And I'm afraid I can't do them here. You're my friend, he said to her. And I believe it's a good thing having you in my life. Even if we might not see each other for some time. What are you? I need to be grounded, said Naruto. My previous talk with Jiraiya made me realize that if I'm not grounded in some way, I might end up killing everyone for a test. A test that I cannot reverse. And I don't want to do that. But there are things I have to do. So, I'm glad you're my friend, he said to her. And you will always be my friend. Wait, He was gone. She couldn't finish her statement. He was gone. Time skip. Unfortunately though, Sasuke left not too long after witnessing a glimpse of the power that Naruto was able to achieve by leaving the village. With a cursed mark influencing his actions, he left, leaving Sakura. In the end, he was able to cross the border. Jiraiya was sent out as he saved the life of Tsunade before that. Orochimaru's desire was to kill her, seeing that she didn't want to help fix his hands. Thus, she came back to become the new Hokage of the village. Sakura was sad, alone. Kakashi was the only one left, and he was more closed off than anyone else. She desired to get stronger. The Hokage saw that and decided that she would become a part of her teaching program. Sasuke made his way to Orochimaru, desiring power. He was late, and that was the only thing that saved him from having his body taken over due to the constant, fighting of the retrieval team. But none of them were able to stop him though. In the end, it was Rock Lee that fought Naruto. However, Lee had many limitations due to just recovering after his surgery. But even then, with the power of the curse mark, Sasuke was so much stronger as he bested him and made his way towards Orochimaru. And thus his training began, his true, brutal, real training. Throughout that time, Naruto wasn't seen. Tsunade had no idea who Naruto was, as she hadn't seen him before. She heard about what he did for the village. However, Jiraiya seemed rather concerned that the kid was not normal. He needed mental help. The way he casually spoke about death like it was nothing, casually testing his ability at the cost of so many people's life. But Sakura was determined. As she told Tsunade her conversation with Naruto, she would make sure that he doesn't do anything bad because he was her friend. However, he was gone. The Sannin was not going to be searching or chasing after Naruto because he did once before. And now, Naruto has shown that he was able to hide in places and do things that were not normal. So it was frankly a waste of his time. He was better off making sure that the village was protected. Orochimaru attacked under his nose, and he would never allow that to happen ever again. Time skip. Before they knew it, 3 years flew by. Within that time span, many things took place. Gaara became the Kazekage. Sakura became one of Tsunade's best students. The constant training, even when it felt like it was going to break her, she never gave up. Then again, Tsunade broke bones and then heal you afterwards. So that kind of training was not normal in any sense of the word. Kakashi returned back to his rather cold, standoffish behavior. Sasuke was already a flight risk. His past was more damaged than anything due to his witnessing of his entire people death when Itachi messed with his mind. But Naruto, losing the both of them affected the copy ninja. Perhaps when he had the team he was starting to slightly open up a bit, but now he's returned back to that rather cold exterior, avoiding people, visiting the cemetery more than often. Within the shadows, Jiraiya got some information about them, a group, and their goal lie in capturing all of the tail beasts. This wasn't good. Having one or two was very stressful for anyone. Having a rogue, unpredictable group having all 9 tail beasts, well, that was going to be horrendously bad. Word was sent to the Sand as Gaara was informed about this, due to the fact that the relationship between them were building back together into something. To believe that Naruto common words, those were what actually changed Gaara back then. Well, he had a lot of inner reflecting to do. However, Tsunade was trying to build the relationship back, trying to show them that she understood they were tricked into it. She was trying her best to put Konoha forward, as she realized that she made the right action coming back with Jiraiya all those years ago, as it really helped her a lot. The job was annoying most times with the paperwork, but it did help her a lot. Meanwhile, the Akatsuki was searching for the 9 tails. They had information due to their spy about the Jinchuriki going rogue. Unfortunately though, they were nowhere closer to finding him, as he's just gone. They decided to go after the first. Despite being aware of them, the Akatsuki was rather smart. They already had backup plans. As Sasori, the puppet master, he had someone that was manipulated under his control within the Sand Village. So it was not hard for him and his partner to sneak in, as he decided to let Deidara handle this. They were able to enter without much of a fuss, as Deidara summoned his bird. Gaara was in his office. As the light of the moon illuminated through the window, Gaara found himself doing some paperwork when he noticed the shadow as he saw the bird. Boom! The explosion shattered almost all of his windows. However, not only was Gaara perfectly fine, but he caught all the debris, saving the people down below. Deidara was curious. He reacted so fast. Gaara simply told him there was no bird like that within the sand. Alright then, let's have some fun, Sand Jinchuriki. As Deidara and Gaara went at it, the rest of the village started to mobilize, gather their forces, gather their troops. The battle started to intensify as Deidara lost one of his arms. He realized that he had to take the Jinchuriki out, using his bird at his advantage. He planted the small explosives in Gaara's sand after threatening to blow up the village, and Gaara saved it, showing just how much the people have changed over the years as they cheer for their Kazekage. Gaara's eyes went wide as he was in his own cocoon, and he saw them digging in. They were about to... Nothing happened. Gaara was confused until he saw they were pulled out, as a green glow surrounded them and yanked them out. But they did not explode. Deidara himself looped around as Gaara allowed the sand to melt down around him. Someone was standing there. There was no footing or no ground. He was simply standing in mid-air. I did say that we would see each other once again. Gaara saw him and immediately recognized who it was. His features were different, completely so. But his eyes, that strange, clock-like sigil in his eyes. But now, on his forehead embedded in it was the kanji for time. He was standing there wearing a rather large cloak, simply hovering in mid-air. It was the man himself, Naruto Uzumaki. Gaara had questioned. He had questioned on where he was. When the team had been brought back to the village when they failed to capture Sasuke, Gaara had no idea that he was not a part of the village in that moment, and he had simply returned. After all, it was his words that allowed Gaara to truly start to take stock of his situation. Deidara decided not to waste any time, using his one remaining hands as he sent bugs towards Naruto. They exploded. However, the explosion came to a crawl. The explosion itself was so slow that Naruto was still casually talking even after Gaara shouted out for him to watch out. Naruto then held his hand up, and you saw the spears surrounding the explosion. They slowly started to shrink back in on themselves until they reverted back to their bird form and their insect flying form. Shock, confusion. Deidara was. Until Naruto clapped his hand together once. As a reversal happened, Deidara had the creatures in his hand, but the charge was still there. Boom! Just like that, his one remaining arm was blown off as he was sent through the sky, falling down below. Gaara had no idea what just happened, but he decided not to waste the opportunity, spiraling down Deidara curse. He looked over as he gripped onto his bird by biting into it, flipping himself on it, forcing it to fly upwards. He saw the building down below as he smirked. He supercharged the massive bird in mid-air. His connection alone was enough. As Gaara was catching up on him, he jumped. Gaara saw the bird about to blow. He used his sand to wrap it around. Deidara rolled and landed on the building as he started to run. He jumped down the alleyway. As he ran down the alleyway, making his way, hiding within the shadows. However, he appeared out of green particle of light. Deidara came to a stop. He turned, dashed into the other one, but once again he appeared out of green particle of light. And again, and again, and again, and again. Come on, said Deidara. This is really not his day. Who the hell even are you? Well, by your views, I presume that I'm the nine-tailed Jinchuriki host. What? You're the missing Jinchuriki? Deidara said as he released a heavy breath. So close to capturing two, but now I have no arms, he said. Oh. Naruto held his hand out and simply started to turn it. Deidara watched as his arms reconstruct. He was stunned, shocked, as he flexed the both of them. He looked up towards Naruto. Well then, you have your arms now. Why don't you capture us, said Naruto. With pleasure, Deidara said as he launched several explosives towards Naruto, but they all started to fizzle out of reality. The moment they got close enough, they simply vanished away. Fine, said Deidara. I'll do this the old way. He attacked Naruto with his fists. However, Naruto dodged with such a ease. He wasn't even looking at Deidara. I'm afraid you're too slow. Deidara ducked and tried to sweep Naruto's leg, but Naruto jumped and simply flipped away. My turn? Naruto questioned him. Deidara reached into his pouch as Naruto threw one fist forward. But Deidara jumped away. What the hell was that? Seems you're not much of a fight. He couldn't finish the statement as Deidara was hit over 50 different times. The final blow sent him into the wall. It had him coughing up blood. Naruto's first attack might have missed. However, the moment Deidara stepped back, it was over. Naruto duplicated a single attack across multiple timelines, causing over 50 attacks to hit Deidara all at once. The first one might miss him, but the other 49, they did get him. And Naruto's fists were rather heavy, powered by the fluctuation of time itself. It wasn't normal. That is why Deidara was on the ground gasping in agonizing pain. What the hell was that, he said. Naruto raised his leg and kicked Deidara, followed by 49 other kicks. His entire face was smashed in as he was bleeding heavily. Naruto stood over him as Deidara struggled to get back up. He was going to die. He could feel that. To believe he could be outmatched this easily is art. No. Even if he had to take all of them with him, screw the Akatsuki, screw the Jinchuriki, screw everything, he will show them true art. Deidara started to rip the threading out of his chest. As he showed them out, he laughed without any teeth, as all of them had been broken out by the kicks. I'll show you, he said, his words mumble. I'll show you true art. Gaara was now landing down, finally found them. But by the time he did Deidara was already condensed into a black ball. Gaara's eyes went wide as he shot his hand towards it, but boom! The explosion pushed outwards and swallowed everything, killing thousands, until time started to reverse as we saw that all of that was seen through Naruto's eyes, a reflection of the future. Naruto held his hand out and shot a beam of green light towards Deidara. As Deidara was already transformed, but not even explosion could withstand the force of time, as Naruto was corroding the force of power behind it. Even after so long, power itself can be deformed, and Naruto was doing that. By the time Deidara was ready to explode, poof, there was no energy behind it, no force, risking his life for absolutely nothing. Gaara-san was wrapping around nothing either. What happened to it, he said. I simply aged it up a bit, said Naruto. However, it is not done yet, Naruto said, looking towards Gaara. You know, I've been observing you from afar, he said, and I must say, my foresight paid off more than I thought. However, Naruto held his hand out as he hit Gaara with a beam of light. Gaara screamed out. The ninjas who were racing towards the vicinity saw what was happening and launched kunais and shuriken towards Naruto, but all of them were stopped, captured by the spears around Naruto, and they were erased. Gaara then proceeded to collapse on the ground. As Naruto flew into the sky, they jumped down to rush to their Kage. In the distance waiting, really pissed off, was Sasuke. Naruto landed in front of him. Hello there. Can we perhaps have a little conversation, said Naruto. Sasuke's eyes narrowed. Time skip. When Gaara awoken, he was confused. He thought he was going to die, but no. Gaara then realized what happened, and his eyes went wide. Time skip. At Konoha. You heard about Naruto? Sakura said, surprised. Yes, apparently. The organization that is after the tail beasts made their move. And they went after the Kazekage. Easy, don't worry, he's alright. But Naruto was there, said Tsunade. Speaking to Sakura. However, the Sand Ninjas believed that he was their enemy, but after their Kazekage awoke, they were wrong about what he did. For years now, he has been struggling with the whispers of the tail beast inside of him due to his seal not being as powerful. I believe it is his will that kept him in check. However, ever since Naruto hit him, it's gone silent. And none of the experts there, even the seal masters, know exactly what happened. But the Kazekage is doing much better, and the Akatsuki member that attacked was killed by Naruto. Sakura smiled when she heard that. I knew it, she said. He's not a bad person, he's just different, she said. As she still remembered what he said, and in her heart she believed that she could bring Team 7 together once again. Unfortunately though, Naruto was not bad, but he was also not good as well. And it was going to show right now. At the moment, Naruto was standing gazing downwards. In the past 3 years, Naruto learned a lot about himself. He was indeed a magical being, possessing not just chakra but mana. However, Naruto refused to have limits. That is why he no longer had the book. Chronos, the god of time, a representation, his hand itself was laid on that book. The concept of power should be immense. But Naruto did not want that. He wanted to go above it, he wanted to go beyond it. So he devoured his book. Yes, you heard that right. It was now a part of him. The power was so great that it almost ripped him to pieces, but no. Here he was, still alive and kicking. However, he needed more time. This what he was doing now was simply to finish his tests on the elemental nation. Because he needed more time to pass along while his body finished the work that he started. After all, having limitations, having weakness and limitations were something that he didn't want anymore. So Naruto has set up a plan to go beyond that. However, this plan was immensely dangerous, as he would be fracturing time itself to accomplish it. However, he still needed more time to accomplish his plans. That is why his movements were now different. As he was waiting, Naruto gazed downwards, as his eyes were tracking everything and everyone. Naruto appeared on a hilltop. There was a kunoichi. She turned and saw him. Immediately her nails elongated. This was not someone she knew. She grew up in this village, she knew almost everyone. And this face was not familiar, especially those eyes. Who are you? She questioned. Oh, don't worry. I'm not here for you. I'm simply here for the tail beast inside of you. Her name was Yujito. She sped towards them, ready to attack only to be suspended in mid-air. That is when someone emerged from behind Naruto. It was Sorcery. Sorcery tail latched out and grabbed her and smashed her into the ground. It stabbed her in her side, spreading a rather powerful toxin through her body. She tried to fight it. After all, she was a Jinchuriki, but the amount of toxin inside of her would kill a normal person. Instead, it simply knocked her out. Good work, said Naruto. Sorcery simply nodded his head. Moments later, the right Kage was racing across the village, arriving at the Rankyo Valley where his brother was supposed to be, only to see nothing but his unconscious soldiers, some of them dead. One of them was waking up. What the hell happened here? We couldn't stop him. He took Lord B, the man said. The right Kage eyes widened and narrowed dangerously. Time skip. One by one, Every nation that possessed a Jinchuriki was captured, literally. Meanwhile, at the Land of Rain, seated, angry, he was in his mechanical walker, Nagato Uzumaki, the leader of the organization, as he found himself rather upset about the turn of events that took place. Not only was Sasuke and Deidara never recovered, word was now breaking as their spy Zetsu was gathering information. Someone had stolen the tail pieces, one after another. As Zetsu was able to sneak into the villages, it turns out that all of them were gone. Within the span of a day, all of the tail pieces were gone. This was frightening to believe that he had created such a powerful organization and they had to wait, and someone was able to take all of them in a goddamn day. So why? Why was the One Tail still alive? Why was the One Tail still the Kage of his village? He couldn't understand this. He had no idea what was going on, and he had no idea who was under the control of this power. The rumors started to spread about what took place, as the other nations started to become rather aware that their tail pieces were also missing as well. Just like that, the Raikage decided to call a meeting with all the other Kages. This was bad. He thought that he was the only one, but now, the stone, Kiri, Konoha Jinchuriki was gone for some time now. The One Tail, Gaara still had his tail beast, so that was confusing. Or did he? Everyone was confused. Someone having this kind of power was, well, too frightening. A description was given of the person, and that description will be brought to the meeting. Tsunade was surprised, never expecting this. All Kages were summoned. This was something that they had to handle. They heard about the Akatsuki, all of them did, and they believed that it was the organization that had taken the tail pieces. A rogue, unpredictable organization, and they were unaware what they will do with that power. With that amount of power, they could drop one nation after another, completely decimating their forces. So as much as they hated it, they had to come together to truly understand what was going on. It did not take too long for them to gather. The Mizukage was a woman known as Maid Terumi. The Raikage was there, the Kazekage was there. The Tishukage and the Hokage was there. They were all there to discuss what was going to happen, as this was bad. Tsunade was fearing the worst. Jiraiya had told her that his inside source gave him a link of who was behind this. The populace had no idea who it was, but Konoha sure did, as Jiraiya told her. She was going to be straightforward, as this was not something that you can keep under wraps, because if she did, well, it would lead to the other nations believing that she was the one behind this. Thus, as they all sat down their guards, going towards the other section up above, they put their hats down. Mifune was the leader here of the Land of Iron, the neutral spot. He started with the Raikage, saying that he was the one that called this meeting. Before you speak, Tsunade interrupted. I believe that it's best if I go first, because I know who is behind this, she said. Yes, but I don't think that we've met in person before, Naruto said, appearing beside her. The moment he did so, Kakashi Hatake and Might Guy emerged, followed by the others. Kakashi had a kunai at Naruto's neck, holding it there, surprised and shocked to see that he was here. Tsunade was straightforward with them, for them to understand what they were going into. As all the guards jumped down, ready to fight, Naruto turned towards his sensei. Kakashi, How have you been doing? He said. As he was so casual, it's been so long. He spoke to the man like, well, nothing had changed. He spoke so casually and normally until the Raikage interrupted. The Raikage wasted no time. He grabbed Naruto and slammed him into the wall. His speed was insane. His hand was against Naruto's throat. "Where is my brother?" he said. "I need him for the time being." Everyone snapped their head to the right, but no one was there. "You see, I'm conducting a powerful experiment." They turned their head to the left, but no one was there. Naruto's voice kept on speaking as Raikage looked back. He was holding on to nothing as Naruto was, seated at the man's chair. The guards point their blades at his throat. "Would you all please calm down?" he said. "I'm not here to fight. If I was, things wouldn't be going this way. I am more powerful than any of you can truly understand. Since fusing with the Book of Time itself, I can do things like this," said Naruto. He raised his hand as everyone was reversed for 10 seconds back into their spots as Naruto was standing on the table. They were all confused. Not only did he reverse them, but he was also able to change where he showed up. However, they were all bound by chains. Shocked and confused, chains were on their hands, each and every Kage. The guards, their legs were bound. "I wouldn't struggle if I were you." Example, said Naruto as he pointed towards one of the samurais. The chain sucked the life right out of him. As the man aged so fast, by the time it was finished, he was dust. All of them froze. "It doesn't matter how powerful you are. You see, these are connected to me," said Naruto. "And I can absorb you, your essence, your life. So don't do anything stupid." As I was saying, you don't have to fear anything from me. I would not categorize myself as a bad person, but I need the power of the tail beasts. I need them for my little experiment. "And what exactly is that?" Meiterumi said, keeping a calm demeanor. "I'm going to fracture time itself. Yes, there will be a lot of problems when I do, because fracturing time might lead to several outplacements and outbalance. Some might even fall off the face of the earth, literally, because they will not return back to the same time. Thousands might die, yes, but still, it is for my benefit. You claim that you're not evil, yet you're willing to subjugate thousands to death for your own well-being and selfishness," she said to him. "Well, when you put it that way, I don't see things as you do. This is needed for my existential survival, in becoming what I desire, what I should be," said Naruto. "As I am, I'm still limited, and I hate that about myself. I'm very powerful enough to defeat all of you in a matter of minutes, maybe even less than that. But I need to go beyond." "You're obsessed," said Tsunade. "He told me about you. He told me about your obsession, that you can't help it. However, you also told Sakura that she's your friend, that she's gonna keep your humanity in check. Don't do this. What if she dies? You know, most time I wonder about that, and the person I once was. But none of it really matters because it is just a fragment of time that I can see as well. But you're right. I do need to keep my humanity in check. Slaughtering thousands does not seem like a big deal to me." However, someone emerged from Naruto, a copy of himself that vanished away. The next moment, Sakura was there. She was confused. What's... The copy then vanished. "Naruto?" she said with a shocked look on her face. "It's good to see you. Almost like a little reunion." "Hold on," he said. Naruto closed his eyes. Sakura snapped his head. Take him down now. She couldn't get to finish that sentence as she no longer had a mouth. Everyone was shocked by that. Stop talking, said Naruto, as he simply erased her mouth by reverting her mouth back to what it was before she was conceived, when she was still in the womb. Well, embryos, that is. Naruto could do things that were unreal, especially with that chain attached to her leg. He could fully use his powers on her without limitations. The others, trying to break free the Raikage, stubborn. Oniki trying to access his power, but it was doing nothing to the chains woven in time themselves. Naruto was too much above their level. Found him, said Naruto. Naruto grabbed onto something while nothing was there and yanked it. The next moment, Sasuke Uchiha phased into reality. Kakashi was brought down to them by the chains as well, as Naruto smiled at them. Team 7, back together once again. Sasuke? Sakura said, shocked, as she looked towards them. Sasuke looked towards Naruto. What's going on? Where am I? The land of iron, said Naruto. As Naruto stepped away, Sasuke tried to move, but Naruto stopped him as he froze Sasuke in time. He then froze the rest of Team 7 as well. He allowed Tsunade Mouth to reappear as he stepped out. Naruto held his hand up as the building started to corrode and break apart. The sunlight illuminated down towards them as the building was gone. Age, so much that the bricks, everything turned into dust, dusting up the others as well. Naruto did not help Gaara the way that he thought. Naruto simply took 90% off the One Tail's chakra. That restricted the One Tail's mind. 10% was still left, as Naruto allowed him to live. Perhaps it was due to his past battle with Gaara that helped him achieve a lot. Thus he allowed him to live. Naruto needed time before ascending to the next level. However, he realized something: the body that he possessed was still human. Yes, it still was human. It was still not strong enough yet. However, like everyone else, Naruto possessed a capability to use chakra as well. That means he could do something like this. Naruto summoned all of the Jinchurikis and the tail beasts as they were on the outside. The reason why Sasori and the others were so loyal to him was because Naruto reverted their mind to mush. Yes, he pushed their mind back so far that they become complacent. Then he started to apply himself into their mind. They were like babies without a purpose, without a cause, without anything, knowing anything, lacking anything. So once he started to embed himself into their mind, they took to him like he was their master. Even the Nine Tails was there as well. He had simply reversed the damage on his body after stripping the beast out of him. Naruto stood there as he allowed them all. The others fight against their restraint as the remaining samurais rushed in to take him down. Unfortunately though, Sasori started to take them down with his needles. Naruto then held his hand out, reaching as he gripped on to time. The struggle was there on his face. Naruto was trying to break it. The reason why he needed time was because he was building up the power inside of his body, but now all of the tail beasts, even the Jinchurikis, they shot their power into him. Sending their power into him, they were the battery and he was the control. They supercharged Naruto, allowing him to change. Each of them combined forming the 10 tails, but Naruto did not care about that. Having a touch, having a taste of the power itself, Naruto was the only one that can do something like this. You could see the green lines of time weaving around him. Everyone else could see it as well. It was blinding and overwhelming. Naruto started to grip onto all of them and tug them inside of himself, forcefully trying to take command of them. More, more, he shouted as the tail beast erupted, pushing their power inside of him. More and more and more and more and more. The beasts along themselves disappeared. Yes, the beasts, the 3 tails vanished. The 1 tail vanished. The 9 tail vanished. The Jinchurikis were still there though, as their power was tied to their chakra. The tail beasts were whole, so when they flooded into Naruto's system were supercharged. And then Naruto released it, the stored power that he has been collecting and fusing together. He used it as a final straw to connect them all. There were rays of light that spread out from the contact. It started to spread all over the world, and the effects started to take place. Tsunade turned into 2 years old. The Kage turned into 100. Before he could die though, he turned back into a child. Mei turned into a granny, before turning back into a teenager. Oniki turned back into a youth. Gaara turned into his 50s. Sasuke Uchiha was clashing with Itachi. Sakura was marrying Sasuke. They had a child. Time started to fluctuate, breaking through different timelines as Naruto started to affect the entire world. Kaguya Otsutsuki was free from her prison. She was then confined once again. As Naruto and Sasuke were fighting her, the timeline started to crumble around him. As Naruto did not stop, he kept on going and going and going and going and going and going until boom! The entire world erupted. A blast that swallowed everything and everyone. Everyone seemingly died. But the blast did not stop there. It poured into the different timelines, eradicating them, wiping out thousands of different what-if scenarios, ending thousands, trillions of life, quadrillions of life, across the known timelines. However, suddenly, like a big bang, everything restarted. It did not rewind, it restarted, forming back together. At the moment, Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto Uzumaki was fighting Kaguya Otsutsuki. At the same time, Naruto was just graduating. Kushina and Minato were wishing him luck. Naruto was currently kissing Hinata Hyuga. He was saying good morning to his children. At the same time, Tsunade Senju was giving birth. At the same time, Hoshirama was placing his hand on his son's head, Naruto Uzumaki. And at the same time, the sage was hugging his son Naruto. And then we see a fusion of Naruto and Sasuke Uchiha. And then we see a Naruto Uzumaki so powerful that gods were bowing down to his feet. The timelines then burst back outwards, folding and twisting upon themselves. Naruto Uzumaki was erased from all of them, just for a moment until he snapped back into them. At this very moment though, Naruto was walking down the road. He paused. What's wrong? Sakura said. They were going to meet with Kakashi Hatake. He was signing them up for the Chunin exams. I just felt weird all of a sudden, Naruto said as he looked upwards as he saw someone, just for a brief moment before he vanished. The person reappeared on the monument. It was Naruto, but this was Chrono's Naruto, the god of time itself. He was successful. However, Naruto destroyed his own timeline, completely wiped it out, and he could not reform it because he was not something that could be replicated. There was only one of him. There were other fragments of himself. He had to destroy himself so they could live. That is why all of them vanished at once. But even while he destroyed himself, he was still existing in the different timelines. So he draw his power from them and make his power back into what it is, as the god of time itself. Naruto became a part of every timeline. He became a part of everything. He was time. His body that he had right now was just a construct that he created, because he no longer had a physical form. He finally achieved it. As Naruto realized that this was just the beginning, he could feel it. His concept was still not big enough. As he was able to see it, this world, this glimpse, it was known as the What If Naruto universe. But you had others, Marvel, Dragon Ball Z. You had Bleach, One Piece. He was startled by it all. He could extend his time through them as well, become a part of them. A grin on his face as he looked down towards a different concept of himself, this one possessing a rare Kage Genkai. However, that wasn't important, as they were all just copies of him. He was always the original. Despite being born late, he was always existing, because he was always one. They were just copies of him. He was the true, original Naruto. All of them across the multiverse were just pieces of him. Thus, he will attempt to spread himself through the entire concept of time itself, beyond this world, and become the true god of time. But guys, let me end this episode right here. Well, this movie, I believe I'll do some more concept of Naruto going into the Marvel world, where he can fight true godlike beings. Maybe the Beyonder, the one above all, King Thanos and those beings, and even fight Zeno from Dragon Ball Z, and even the King from, well, Bleach. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing some more concept on this, with Naruto trying to control other realities. So stay in tune for those. If you're new, just click that red subscribe button. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.